Gonna do another narration. Today, I really didn't take any trades, or I did take a trade later in the day, but at the open, not really much. Didn't feel too well, had a headache, but we can get into our morning plan. So, we are in this price discovery mode. The market is currently not inside of a balanced area. We do have this area, but we're between two balance. So it's really where we're going to go. We have buy stops above. They're not in that picture. We have buy stops above. Sell stops possibly below this low, possibly below this low. We don't know. Just assumptions. Our stat focus. Opening higher in range above. We have a couple outcomes. And as the market moves up, we can anticipate a move down possibly. Below current price, we have prior close and prior point of control. 65-70% chance of being tagged. Lower, we have overnight low, a 50% chance, and then we have prior value low at a 56% chance. If we find support at these levels, then we have a 7% chance of reaching prior value high, and then 55% chance of taking out prior high day, and 75% chance of taking overnight high. So what we're really looking for is, if we come down and find support at either prior close, prior point of control, overnight low, prior value low, if we find support here, mostly here, if we get below these sell stops, we're probably going to go down to 5 day. But if we find support here, we have a chance of reaching overnight high or prior high, as this is a 74% chance and this is a 55% chance. So that's what we're looking for. We either are also between 5957. Where's that at? 5957 microposit high volume node right here. You can see it's a little bump. We're between this. We also have a gap here, but we're between this high volume node and we're between this high volume node. So we're kind of just trading here. Market will stay balanced between this, but if we break out, we could see a move. My commentary, not much today. I'll just go right into the narration because the commentary wasn't much. So we can see over here we had this balanced area, it rejected. I'll show you guys this chart. I don't think I've showed you guys this chart, but this is where we're opening over here. Let me delete this. Don't really need that. So as I've been showing you guys, the market moves in fractals. Delete all that. We'll just delete all these lines and redraw them for you guys. So as the market moves in fractals, we can see this as the same thing as we do on the market depth chart. We are over here. We had a balanced range. Okay, where is resistance in this balanced range? Right here. Okay, we know resistance can act as support. So if we're opening over here, we have resistance acted as support. Let me bring this here to make it look cleaner. Acted as support, acted as support. If we get below this, it could act as resistance, or we can move to a new area. As this was seen as too high over here, it is seen as too low over here. If we get below that, now it's seen as too high and we have to find too low. Well, we also have point of control here, right inside this balanced range. Let me just we'll just do this. Put this here. That is possibly too low, so we have to go and check it. We gotta do a price check. We also have this that acted as support, acted as support, acts as resistance, act as support. And this is what we're doing. I'll get into the market depth chart, but we always want to see what's going on currently. We use this area as support. It acted as resistance, 5920 on the move lower. We are also inside this. This is the value area here. This whole profile. These blue lines value high. This light blue one's value low. So now we're inside the whole range's value area, and we'll now move further. But we can see we had this is too low, now it's too high. This was too low, now we're below it, so it could be seen as too high. And if this is too high, we have to ask ourselves, where's too low? Well, we have this area right here, this fractal, the middle of the fractal, and value area low. The market likes to move in an auction, so we have 68. If we're above value area high, we have a 68% chance of reaching value area low. So we have 68% chance of reaching up here, and then move down to here. And we can go to this chart back here. If below 5934, a move to 5920 could be on the table. So let's go back here. I'm kind of narrating for you guys, but also for me, as I kind of missed this. I need to get back to what I was seeing, what we were seeing. Delete that. So we have overnight point of control right here. We'll mark that as purple so we don't forget it. The market opened, we moved lower, we're under point of control. We either have a chance to find support at our levels, overnight low, private area low, or we're just going to continue lower to 5920. 5934 right here, we're below this. Point of control is here. You could trade this, I don't trade it, I just like to narrate it. But we have this consolidation at the open. We have point of control right here. Prices chop, 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 break low, retest, break low. We have point of control that shifts down. Point of control shifts down, we find buyers, and we chop back up. Where are we going to return to? Well, we do have a potential point of control right here that we had at the open. So we return back to point of control. You could short this if your plan is to move to 5920. I wasn't at my desk at this time, so I didn't take this trade. But we have that. Point of control shifts back up. At the open, point of control can move a decent amount, trying to find where's fair. But now we have that. We retest. You could get short here if you wanted. And we chop, 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 break low. You never really come back and retest. So we could see this whole area as a fractal. Chop, 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 break low, retest. What do we have here? Point of control shifts lower to 5936. Also variable high volume node. Shifts lower. We could get short here. And now we have our new fractal. Alright, we'll continue. Market just moves lower. We break below 5934. 5942. 5930. We possibly had stops. 5930 is right here. So you can see we have a decent amount of selling, 450 negative delta. As soon as we get below this, the tape speeds up. We are accelerating lower because the people that had their stops here, the buyers, they have to become a seller for them to get out of their position so they don't lose all their money, you know. So we're moving lower. No real fractals that we can talk of. It's really just a straight directional move. But we do come down here. We return to 5920. 5-day point of control as well. And we have a fractal right here. We can mark this. Test 5920. Chop, chop, chop. And then we go back up here. There's not a point of control, but we do have this volume right here that we can see. So we return to the volume. You could get short here. I was considering this, but I didn't. I just wasn't feeling, I had a headache all day, so I just wasn't in the mood to short, but this would have been the ideal situation as we are looking for prices to move lower. if we're opening lower out of range, we have a pretty good chance to just continue gapping going. I mean, we were higher in range. Sorry, my bad. We're higher in range. So if higher in range, we either have a chance to test prior value areas. So we never really tested prior value high. So where could we move next? Prior value low. So you could get short here. Look for prior value low. We'll continue moving. This was resistance. This was support. We moved below support. It acts as resistance. And then we have point of control shift. Point of control shift, we have structure. Oops. We have structure. We have point of control. So if you wanted, you could possibly look to get long if you're trying to go counter trend. You can get long. Where would you be looking to go to? Well, possibly up here. We never reached it. That's I guess you could do that if you really want to. You could say we did reach it. Delete that. And this is what we're seeing currently. The market's moving like this. We're below 5-day point of control. There's a lot of people getting long. A lot of buyers are getting long down here. A lot of retail. They want to try catching the low. We have point of control. So you could get your 6 points. Call it a day. But we then eventually get below this area. What acted as support acts as resistance plus point of control. Let's delete that. We'll delete that. And now we have this as a fractal. Chop, 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 chop. Break low. Retest. Where are we retesting? Point of control. So that fractal is now rejected. We're moving lower. We'll go back and we'll mark this area. Just in case, because we also have 5-day point of control there. But now we're moving lower. We broke out the fractal, so we can now mark a new area. And we are heading towards 5900, a major psychological level. Couldn't talk there. Moving lower, moving lower. And as we move down here, we can go back to this chart. We are now at the whole range's value area low. We are now also at the mid range of this chop here. We do have prior low a day below us, which has a good chance of being reached, but at the moment it hasn't been reached. We are rejecting value area low of this whole fractal here on a higher time frame. So we can go back here. We do have this as a fractal, possibly, if you wanted to see it like that. We are holding the range's value low. We are holding a prior mid area of fractal. And now we're defending this. If this is too low, where's going to be too high? Well, for me, if this is too low, if value area low is too low, we might return to an area that acted as resistance. Act as resistance, acts as support, acts as support. Do we think it could act as resistance again? We also have mid, which is value for me. The mid can be seen as where the market has accepted, okay, this is good. It's usually lining up with another level. So we also have prior value low here. Prior value low, not value low. And I think I did take a long. Yeah. Go in here. Yep. So I took a long at 9:30. ish, 936. No, wait, no, 943. But if we remember, that there is what we were seeing. If this is too low and we're on our way back up to where it could be too high resistance, we want to get with the trend. So I got long at 943. I got long on this pullback to this fractal. You could even make it smaller if you wanted. Got long in the pullback. We also had 5900, and I was looking for a 2-to-1 risk reward. So I was really looking for this 6 points, 2-to-1. That's what I was looking for. You could honestly have targeted prior area where it acted as resistance. I was just going for 2-to-1, and we're getting closer to the current. So back here we have the mid, we have this fractal, we have this whole fractal that we talked about earlier, this to this. Once we break out of this fractal, we have to ask, where is the new area of consolidation? We labeled that as here. So this is all the fractal, this whole area. We break out of the fractal and form a new consolidation at the low of that fractal, which this acted as support, could act as resistance. And it's also mid, and prior very low, and initial balance middle. Mid, whatever you want to call it. And after my long, I was kind of just, I was looking for point of control, but we never really reached it, and I got my 2-to-1, so happy with that. So we have this at the moment. Down here was too low. 5910 was possibly too high. Acted as resistance, acted as support, acted as support, acted as resistance on this another try. We returned to 5910. Find resistance. So now we can make our new areas. This is a fractal. We have our chop, 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 break low, retest. What was support acted as resistance. What was resistance acted as support. So we can see that it continued acted as resistance. You could have got short here looking for the microdeposit high volume node or 5900. After my trade, I kind of walked away to, I think I went and meditated for a little bit just to recoup. And then we have point of control shift. So where is the new fair value? Well, fair value is kind of deemed here, 5900. Where we have this fractal, we have this fractal down here, back here. Acted as support, acted as support. On the retest, acts as support. We have point of control continued to move lower. I haven't seen what's happened recently, so this is all new to me. But we can continue to mark it like we would. What do we have here? We have a fractal. We break out of the fractal, and now we form new chop. 5 box. We haven't came back and retested this chop, but we did break out of 5910. So we're current at the moment. What are we seeing? We have this area right here, value high of this whole range. This is value high. So we're currently inside the value area of this range. We have what acted as resistance, acted as support, resistance. Is it acting as resistance again? Possibly. Where would we go if we reject? Well, we have the current mid here, and the current point of control is, where's current point of control? Current control is 5899. So 58. So we could return back to the point of control, or not. We don't know. I don't know why that's not going farther. Weird. Oh, it's right there. We're also at the current range's point of control. So there's a lot of things we could do. We could, if we do get above this, if we get up here, get above and retest, we could find this as too low. What was resistance could act as support, and we could move higher. Or we could find this as too high, and possibly break lower towards either 5908, which was resistance, could act as support. If we get below 5908, we could return to point of control. I'm not really into taking live trades. I'm not the best at multitasking, but we can mark it up. So we have 5-day point control. I had a pause there, had someone at the door. But as I was marking it up, we can see we chop, 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 break low, retest. Where could we possibly head? Well, we possibly could head to this high volume node that we had, which was also point of control. So this could act as support. If we get below this, and what was resistance could act as support. If we get below it, this could act as resistance towards possibly the mid, possibly point of control. So that's what we're seeing so far. We're current, so I can't really show too much. We're seeing some orders pop in down here. Turn this on. Let me see this here. Nothing above 380, which is what I have this one set at. So nothing too impressive to me, none I really care for. But yeah, this is what we're seeing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Make sure you guys check out the Discord. Hopefully the audio is better on this one. If it's too loud, turn it down. You know, I rather be too loud than too quiet. Announcements, we still have this video. I'm gonna try working on it this weekend. So if you guys are interested in learning how to make your own charts for completely free, you know, except for buying data and everything, keep in tune for that. And yeah, we can continue this possibly just for the moment, see what happens. We just have our fractal down here, fractal up here. I wish I can fast forward the market for you guys, but we do have the VWAP, 2-day VWAP. I like to use that one instead of the whole session VWAP, just because for me it seems a little more accurate to what institutions possibly use. If you guys are finding these useful, you know, please leave comments, please leave a like. Anything and everything is helpful. We can look at this chart. So we found this area as resistance. Like I said, we could reject it, move lower to possibly the mid, possibly 5908, 5899. And this is the same process we just do every day. We try to keep the same because we have to be structured. If we're not structured, then the market is just going to throw us around and it's going to be random. So currently moving lower. So that's what we're seeing. We had this area resisted. We could also do this. So where's our fractal? Well, this is a fractal. Chop, chop, chop. Break low. Tons of selling. They could become trapped. We retest. We don't really have anything, but we do have some pretty impressive delta above 300. So this area, this fractal, what was support acted as resistance, and we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna continue to narrate. I'll let you guys go about your day. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys would like a live narration like this, let me know. Any feedback is helpful. Alright, hope you guys have a great day. So while I was putting this in the editing down here, I did take a short when I was narrating. Wasn't going to say anything because I just wasn't really trying to multitask. I was trying to get the short and then forget about it, let it work out. But like I was saying, we'll act as support, act as resistance, move lower, reach the mid. And we could even see this is kind of more getting into the nuance, but what was support actually has resistance plus IB low 30, so the first 30 minutes this was the low, and then we returned to point of control. I just kind of wanted to share that real fast. Good trade, just thought you guys might want to see the outcome of that whole situation. So now we're back at point of control. We can look here. What was too high is still too high. We can see back here, too high, too high. Where's too low? Well, possibly point of control. The current day's point of control, not the fractal's point of control. What is this? But the current day's point of control, possibly too low. We come back and check it, see what happens. And yeah, that's really that. Now I'm going to end the video.